Welcome back to Talking Story. My name is John Minton, and I'm so glad you guys popped in today because I've put together a list of the books I am most excited for in the upcoming year, 2024. That is right. This year has just about come to a close. We're entering in the holiday season. And, right after that, it's going to end up with New Year's. And then we got a whole new year of exciting book releases coming. And I've scoured the interwebs and I've found out the ones that I am most excited to come out. And I've got a list of 15 books. And these are not the only books I'm going to read coming up in 2024, of course. But it's the new releases that I'm most looking forward to. Some of them are parts of series I haven't even started yet, but I look forward to starting in 2024. Some of them are series I've followed for a while. Some of them are standalones. We kind of hit all of the flavors in this smorgasbord from the future. So let's get right into it. Coming in at number 1, and I have put these together in order of the year as they come out, the calendar year. So not number 1, this is just the first of the list. They're not in any type of order of my excitement level. My excitement level is off the charts for all of these. But the first one coming at the beginning of the year is Glass Box by J. Michael Straczynski. It will be released January 9th, so just around the corner. I am a huge Babylon 5 fan. Most of that, I would say over 90% of that, sprung from the head of J. Michael Straczynski. Ever since I watched that series, all 5 seasons of it. Apparently, the story goes, it just came to him in one large chunk of a story. It was completely realized. So ever since I finished that, I have followed him. I've followed his comics work from several different companies. He's always inventive. He's always fun. And he's got this book coming out called Glass Box. It's the first novel I've seen come from him in a while, first prose novel. And it's a science fiction novel about the consequences of our decisions and actions. And that's all I need to know. It's J. Michael Straczynski. It's sci-fi. It's new work. I am absolutely going to pick this up when it comes out and try to read it as quickly as possible because, again, huge Babylon 5 fan. The second book coming out in the year, Trial of Empire by Richard Swan, coming out February 6th. I have not got into this trilogy yet. I hear so many amazing things. He's a legal eagle. He's a lawyer. He's a barrister. He's worked this into his fantasy epic. And it's a traveling judge, and they've got murder mysteries to solve. And everything I hear sounds like it's absolutely right up my alley, and I can't wait to get into it. It's one of those trilogies that's just, I keep thinking, oh, I should start that, and I just haven't picked it up yet, but I really want to, and it's coming to a close, so maybe I'll just grab all 3 and like gobble them up over 3 months, 1, 2, and 3, but I am absolutely looking forward to that. The third choice is Book of Love by Kelly Link. Will be out February 8th, and I have been a big fan of Kelly Link for a good while. She generally always works in short fiction, shorter work, and it's so beautiful, so lyrical. The characters are so fully realized. She's so inventive. Her magical realism just gives you it just gives you the feels. It just hits you. She's just amazing with what she does. She makes you think. She makes you laugh. She makes you cry. It gives you an emotional response. It gives you an intellectual response, all from short work. So I am excited to see what her first full-length novel is all about. And the Book of Love is that of her first full-length novel. And I have already got an early copy from NetGalley, so I'm going to absolutely be reading this probably in January and having a review out by beginning of February, probably an early spoiler-free review, and I cannot wait to get my hands and dig into her first full-length novel. The next one coming up, What Feasts at Night by T. Kingfisher, February 13th is release date. I have never read any T. Kingfisher. I hear amazing things. I am a huge horror fan, and from kind of what I can glean, this is the follow-up of a novella. I have ordered that novella in, so I will have that read and ready to go by when this comes out. And it's a continuation, I think, of the Fall House of Usher. I'm not 100% sure, but just from what I glean, it just sounds like horror goodness, horror madness, and I absolutely want to check out some T. Kingfisher, so I circled this release date and this work of his to jump in the deep end, and February 13th, I will be excited for that. The next one coming up on February 29th, this may be one of the ones I am most excited for. That is Empire of the Damned by Jay Kristoff. I know Mike over at Mike's Book Reviews already has been flashing his arc. I'm so jealous. I absolutely loved Empire the Vampire. It was that epic fantasy feel. It was that horror feel. It was genre blending in the best ways. It is the darkest of dark fantasies. It pulls no punches. It absolutely offers up an anti-hero that is certainly not wearing a white hat, but not all the way wearing a black hat either. It's got amazing themes of honor and duty and faith, and it blew my hair back. It was off the charts for me. I absolutely thought it was wonderful. And if book 2 is as strong, I'm not sure if this is a trilogy or a longer series. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to read them all. If book 2 is as strong, it might start finding its way on some favorite fantasy series list because it was that good. So I am anxiously awaiting book 2, Empire of the Damned, on February 29th. Coming up next, Angel of Indian Lake, Stephen Graham Jones. This is on March 26th. This is the conclusion of his Indian Lake trilogy. I read the first one this year, My Heart is a Chainsaw, and absolutely loved it. It was just a splatter movie, and a love letter to every splatter film you've ever seen, but with a deeper character arc and deeper meaning to this character's movement through the book. It wasn't just, she did live her way through a splatter film, but there was also her love of splatter films was so she wouldn't have to face her own post trauma, and it was just an amazing, Jade was an amazing female protagonist that I can't wait to read more of. The second book, Don't Fear the Reaper, I will absolutely read. I will absolutely get that in and read before this third one comes out because I'm all in on this trilogy. And this was recommended to me by Leslie Smith over at the Nerdy Narrative. And if anyone knows horror, it's Leslie Smith, and she was absolutely right. So I'm anxiously awaiting the close to that trilogy, even though I haven't read book 2 yet. Next on the list, Disquiet Gods by Christopher Ruocchio is out on April 2nd. I haven't even started the Sun Eater Saga. It is the next book I pick up after I finish the book I am currently reading. But from what I hear, I love the framing narrative, like King Killer Chronicles. I love space opera. I love epic fantasy. This seems to pull a little bit from all those things and throws them in that genre blender and makes a concoction that's just supposed to go down just so perfectly. And the amazing thing is that he was like 18 or 19 when he wrote book 1, and he's still supposedly like dang near knocked it out of the park, and the books just keep getting better if I believe all the reviews that I see, and I absolutely do because I trust the reviewers that I've been watching. So I can't wait to start this series, and I can't wait for book 6 to come out. That leaves, I think, just one more left in the series. I think he's got it planned up to 7. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for book 6 to come out, even though I haven't read book 1. Coming up next, this is a brand new debut author, and I am very excited for this. I'm talking about Foul Days from Genevieve Demova, and she is a debut author coming from Tor, and the release date is June 25th. Look this up. She is an archaeologist by trade, and this is an epic fantasy that's based on Slavic myths and legends, and I can't wait to see an archaeologist's eye spin a yarn, and the cover just intrigued me right away. And then when I read she's an archaeologist and this is a debut, it's like, oh man, I really want to try that, and Tor picked it up, so I respect the people, the good folks at Tor, to recognize something maybe special, and I'm absolutely excited for this debut. Next, The Dragon in Winter by Jonathan Marbury will be out August the 20th. This is his third in his epic fantasy series. Now, he is a Bram Stoker Award winner. He is known for his horror work. He is known for his techno thriller work that edges into horror. And he's known for his zombie apocalypse work and also his YA zombie apocalypse work. And this, it's all a shared universe. This is 50,000 years after the zombie apocalypse that he has written. Civilization starts coming back into its own through sword and sorcery. And he created this trilogy, the first one being Kagan the Damned, which I will be reading next month on my TBR, and after that is Son of the Poison Rose, and he wraps it all up with The Dragon in Winter. And I do believe this is like that old school sword and sorcery feel, Robert Howard, and I can't wait to get into it. I've been catching up with all of his other things all the way through the zombie apocalypse, which I just finished for spooky season. So I am primed and ready, and I can't wait for the end of the trilogy because I usually always enjoy a Jonathan Marbury read. After that, we have Gods Below by Andrea Stewart, comes out September 5th. I missed her Drowning Empire trilogy, and I hear great things about it. I actually have the first book on my TBR. I just haven't picked it up yet. But this is the beginning of her all-new trilogy, so I'm excited to maybe jump in and not be behind on this. From what I hear, dark necromancy in a fantasy setting, that was her Drowning Empire, so she sounds like she's just right in my sweet spot, and I absolutely want to try her out. So she's got a new trilogy starting. I believe it's a trilogy called Gods Below, and I'm going to be all in on that. After that, of course, every single one of us I know is waiting for Winds of Truth by Brandon Sanderson. Should be out sometime in November. We're not exactly sure. We don't have an exact release date, but he does keep us updated every week, letting us know that he is on track. I think he's 86% done, somewhere in there. So you know he's going to turn it in on time. You know it's going to be out in November. I have read The Way of Kings. I am reading Words of Radiance in December as my Christmas chonker gift to myself. So my goal is to be caught up with the entire Cosmere by November when this book comes out and caps off the first 5-book story arc in the Stormlight Archives. And I'm only read one book, but if the rest are anything near Way of Kings, this very well may tie Empire of the Damned for my most exciting release for next year. I absolutely cannot wait for it. After that, these are some things that don't really even have release dates, but they're by people that I absolutely trust to get them out. A couple of them are Kickstarters that I backed, so I know the timing should work out about right for them to be out in 2024. And the first of these is the God Eater Saga by Rob J. Hayes. I have never read any Rob J. Hayes. I wanted to get into Rob J. Hayes, and then he put out this Kickstarter campaign for 3 books, each of the 3 starting a trilogy in the God Eater Saga. And this is... the inventiveness of the pitch is off the chart. You eat gods, and by ingesting, you take their power. It's some kind of... That's all I had to hear. That was all I had to hear. I wanted to get into Rob J. Hayes anyway. I backed this Kickstarter. I look forward to these 3 books being out sometime in 2024. And all the stretch goals were hit, so there's going to be extra art, and I expect them to be a beautiful package. And congratulations to Mr. Hayes for hitting all the stretch goals and having the success of his campaign, and I can't wait to get the books in my hand. After that, there's another Jonathan Marbury book, and this is the latest in his long-running Joe Ledger series, which is that techno-thriller bordering on horror. And the latest book will be called The Alchemist, and this is the one that we get to find out the backstory of the mysterious Mr. Church in this series. And if you've read any of these, if you have not, oh my God, they're so much fun. But if you have, he's apparently lived for hundreds of years, and we don't know how, and we don't know how he put this team together that fight all the big bads that want to bring down civilization and just watch it all burn. And he's behind the organization, and he's put it together, in several different iterations as years have gone by, and his agents have come and gone because he's outlived them all. And who is he? How does he have this longevity? Where did he come from? What is his origin story? And for the longest time, Marbury said, well, I'm never going to say, I'm never putting that out there. But he changed his mind, and The Alchemist is the origin story of Mr. Church. And I am extremely, extremely excited to get that origin story. No release date yet, but you can bet when it comes out, I'm going to be grabbing it day one. After that, no release date for this one either, guys, but this author is known for hitting his deadlines, and I fully expect 2024 to see the end of the long-running Matthew Corbett series from Robert McCammon. The final book is called Leviathan, and it is scheduled for 2024, and I fully expect it to be in my hands that year, and I cannot... It's a bittersweet thing. I cannot wait to wrap up the series that Robert McCammon has been giving me for so many years that I've been following all the way back from to With Speaks the Nightbird. And at the same time, a little bittersweet. For so long, I have been looking forward to the next Matthew Corbett book coming out, and Leviathan is the last one, and it is Matthew Corbett working with his deepest, darkest nemesis, the Professor Idris Fell, and oh my gosh, I can't wait to wrap up that series, and I will be sad to see it go at the same time. And the last one on my list is another Kickstarter campaign that I followed. I wanted to get into more self-pub this year, and everything I looked at, it looked like Threadlight by Zach Argyle was universally loved and enjoyed in the self-pub sphere, and he put out a Kickstarter campaign for an omnibus edition of all three of his trilogy in one beautiful, beautiful book. And I absolutely back that, and I can't wait to get my copy of Threadlight and see why everybody loves this trilogy so much. So I'm sure it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. All the mock-up pictures and everything look just stunning. So I can't wait to get that in my hands as well. So that's it. 15 books that I have zeroed in on the calendar, if I have a date to zero in for 2024. What are your most excited releases coming up in 2024? This is that time of the year that we love so much. It's like we were kids and we got to get that. Ooh, I'm going to show how old I am. It's like we were kids and we got to get that Christmas catalog that came in the mail, and we'd all flip to the back of the catalog to the toy section, and we would get our pencil or our pen or our marker, and we would draw circles over. Ooh, this is it for me this year. If Santa brings me one thing. This is the same kind of feeling for me, guys, when I'm coming to the end of a year and I'm looking into next year and I'm seeing all the amazing stories and tales that my favorite authors and maybe my new favorite authors that I haven't even read yet have in store for me. It's that same feeling I got when I was a kid, cracking open that Christmas catalog. So what is in your Christmas catalog? What have you circled? What have you put on the calendar? What are you looking forward to? What can you not wait to have in your hands and start reading day one? Hit me up in the comments and let me know. Did I miss something? Is there something I should be circling that I have missed? Absolutely let me know. I want to hear your thoughts. I love comments. I answer them if I'm not tied up doing something. I answer comments right away, because for me, that's the fun of this whole thing, is talking back and forth with you fine book lovers like me. So hit me up right down there. If you haven't liked or subscribed yet and you've checked me out a couple times, or maybe this is the first time you checked me out and you kind of like what we do here, that helps everything we do if you like and subscribe. So take the time to do that for us. And that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is John Minton, and if you stop by just to see what I can't wait to have in my hands to read for 2024, that tells me that you are book people, and in my book, that means you're the best people. So thank you. Thank you so much for spending the time with me. This has been Talking Story.